Okay, now when you walk into the ring for the #1 heavyweight of the world, you'll be ready, won't you? Why? Because I waited for 50 years to make you ready. You'll be able to spit nails, kid. Like the guy says, you're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder.
Louie Valley, Louie Hollywood. When the office for a young mechanic can be a panic with just a good-looking can. And anybody...
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
Welcome to episode 4 of Khnemu Kozak's Oscar Ballot podcast. I'm Aaron Kozak, and with me once again is my good friend...
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
So we're starting to, this is our last episode before we get to, before we go to the Oscars. Our next episode is going to be a recap. So we're making our final picks today.
We're going all in today.
Aside from the Oscar films that we'll discuss in the ballot, anything of interest that you watched this week?
Not
we
really.
can open it to streaming too. It's fine. We can open it up to the shows too.
Yeah, no. I've been watching The Mandalorian, but that's a weekly thing. So no, I saw The Fabelmans.
Oh, very good. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna know. Did you love it?
I did love it.
It's just delightful.
Yeah,
he's just a very delightful man. I very much enjoyed.
He's a wonderful filmmaker.
I enjoyed him. I enjoyed that immensely. The box office.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man.
Me too. Wouldn't we all? So this week's box office, I don't think this is much of a surprise. Coming in at number 1 is Creed 3 with a gross of $58 million. So it just dominated, obviously. Kind of expected. Number 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp comes in at $12 million. And just behind by $1 million, Cocaine Bear this week in number 3. Number 4, Demon Slayer. Number 5, Jesus Revolution, still hanging on there. Number 6, Avatar, The Way of the Water, made $3.6 million. Number 7, Operation Fortune, the Guy Ritchie movie we discussed a couple episodes back, maybe last episode. Number 8, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Number 9, Magic Mike's Last Dance. And number 10, just stunning that it's still in the top 10, 80 for Brady. Really, really hanging on there. And the Oscar shorts made the top 20 this week.
Cool. Of course, that's yeah, that makes sense.
So I have to amend our... Oh, go ahead, please.
That 80 for Brady demographic, that's pretty much like about the portion that would go see that movie. So I can see it, maybe they're going multiple times.
Yeah, just the Super Bowl was so long ago. It just seems like the buzz is gone. It's still hanging on there. I don't know. There just should have been some new movies coming out that should have knocked that off, in my opinion. Well, they're not putting enough movies out to beat things like 80 for Brady. Of good quality.
That's true.
But still, I'm sure it's fine. I'm just not gonna see it. I will probably end up watching it on a plane or in a hotel somewhere. I have to amend our past episode, though. This is very important. Our last episode. So now that I have fully familiarized myself with my box office information. So our Titanic, which Titanic is also in the top 20 still, that $674 million, that is the all-time domestic box office. That is 1,316 weeks of Titanic being in theaters. That is what I've confirmed, because it has made billions, as you said, but I'm not looking at worldwide numbers. I'm only looking at domestic numbers. So
Titanic is the all-time domestic champion.
Well, maybe not. No, because the thing is, because movie tickets are so much more expensive now than when it came out. So if we're looking at it now, probably relative to
don't account for inflation. No. Don't do that.
I mean, I don't know. I just because Avatar is about to pass Titanic in domestic gross box office. The new Avatar is about to pass the old Titanic because the movie ticket prices are the highest they've ever been right now. And we're going to go into that actually in an article. And so, and that's why, part of it, when people are talking about the state of the movie business, I'm like, it's not the money. They're making a lot of money. There are less people going, but they're making more money because it's going the way of Broadway, where less people are seeing the shows, but people are paying tons of money to see the tours and stuff. And so in the end, they're making hand over fist money. Like, they're not losing money. But just to clarify, the re-release of Titanic made a staggering amount of money as well, but it just didn't make $674 million. It took me 4 episodes to figure that out, of looking at our box office, but I did it. And still is making a shitload of money, and still making a shitload of money in re-release. And still in the top 20, 25 years later. So that is, and also, like the amount of money it's making now with these ticket prices too is like going to end up being a big chunk of its final box office because of just how expensive the tickets are and how many people are still going. So it's a real beast. I
thought about going to see it. I've never watched all of Titanic to this day, 26 years later.
It's fine, but it's the last 45 minutes is pretty great.
I've seen that.
yeah. It's just such a slow lead up into that. Do you have any coming soon for us this week?
I have to tell you about the future.
There actually is another comic book movie opening this Friday. Shazam is opening this Friday. Fury of the Gods. The sequel to
Shazam. I've worked on both the Shazams. It's fine. I put it in the long list of movies of it's fine. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. It was cute. The first one was cute.
I didn't think it was bad by any means.
I wasn't clamoring for a second one.
No. And is this Adam Driver dinosaur movie
that just came out? Does that come out today? That comes out today.
It comes out today. Yeah,
last night.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm confused about this movie. Is it a time travel movie? It's like he's on Earth, but he's in the past, but he's in a spaceship. So it has me confused, but not confused enough to want to go see it.
Well, I like Adam Driver a lot, and thank you for your service. He's a ex-Marine, but I saw a trailer where they superimposed a basketball player in it. It was a commercial for the NBA, and I was like, "Is this the movie?" I can't tell if this is the movie or not. I was like, "Is he really in this?" I forgot who it was, but I was just like, "Why is he in this movie?" And then I realized there was an NBA commercial, and I was like, "Well, that's it. That just sums it up. Like this movie could be so silly that you could have this basketball player in here saying these silly lines, and it kind of works, because it's not works, but it seems like what the movie is. It seems appropriate for the movie. So I don't know. Yeah, it didn't really look good to me either.
I mean, he's a really good actor too, but at the same time, it's like, okay, it's him and like a little kid in a big green screen room. It's like, okay, it's him doing a bunch of acting exercises. I mean, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll probably pass on that one. I'm hoping to see some movies tomorrow, but I'm probably gonna, if I can catch one of the Oscar flicks that I haven't seen in the theaters, I may do that. If not, I will probably see Cocaine Bear. I'm not particularly so moved to see Creed 3 either, though I will see Creed 3. But Cocaine Bear's getting some buzz. I mean, it's just people seem to have really liked that, and I still haven't gotten there to see it. So
I finally watched the trailer to it. I hadn't seen the trailer, and I'm like, oh, okay, that looks cool. Looks fun.
And you were right. It is a real story, and it was just a bear that ate cocaine and got sick and probably died. Yeah. So it wasn't exactly a bear going crazy on cocaine, which
not at all
would have been absurd in real life. Well, we're going to do some let's move on to the movie news now and see what's going on in the world of film. Is that all right with you?
Let's do it.
News team, assemble!
The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
Mission Impossible 8 cast Ted Lasso star Hannah Waddingham, who also is the shame lady from Game of Thrones, which I think is more important. I'm surprised that wasn't in the headline, because that's what she'll be. The world's Mission Impossible and Ted Lasso have unexpectedly collided. Next summer's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 has cast Hannah Waddingham, who plays Rebecca Welton on Apple TV's Ted Lasso. Franchise star Tom Cruise returns as Ethan Hunt in the summer's 7th and penultimate installment of his long-standing, action-packed franchise. Are you a Mission Impossible fan?
I very much am. Yes.
Me too.
It's probably my favorite ongoing movie franchise. It defies expectations to me because, I mean, we grew up in the 80s at a time when franchises generally were conventionally believed to kind of die out after the third movie. Like if you're making 4, 5, and 6, like you were really stretching it, In these movies, like I thought he was done after the third one, but then he comes out with the fourth with Ghost Protocol, and it's the best one yet. And he's only topped himself with the 2 after that. So, yeah, I'm here for the next 2.
You know what? Me too. It doesn't need to be any more than it is when you watch Mission Impossible, and it always delivers. And he does his own stunts still, and he's too old and too expensive to be doing that. And I forget which one it was, but when I was in Australia for the birthday boys, they have the biggest IMAX in the world. And so I got to see it on like this tall, crazy IMAX. And that was really, it was the one, it was whichever one where he went up that tower in,
the fourth,
Saudi
India,
Arabia or whatever, in the Middle East, that giant tower. I forgot what it's called.
The Wiz Khalifa or something like that. No, that's not what it's called. That's not what it's called.
But he had the gloves. I believe he had the suction gloves.
Yes,
is how he did it, I believe. So they don't need to be the greatest movies of all time, and they always work. And I even with the Scientology stuff and all of that, I am still a big Tom Cruise fan. I just think I just love what he does. And I wish he would come out and do some more comedies like Tropic Thunder, where he does those weird, hilarious characters and stuff. He's just so funny.
I want Tarantino to write a Tom Cruise part in one of his movies. I want Tom Cruise to be in Tarantino's apparently last movie, since I guess he's only going to direct one more movie, he keeps saying.
Yeah. Isn't he doing I thought he was going to do a Star Trek.
I think that's dead. That's not going to happen.
Oh, dang. That would be a little weird, to be honest, but I'd still see it. I'd pay. Take my money. I'm there. I was supposed to be on Variety. In Variety, Oscars reject Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's bid to appear on the telecast. For the past year, Vladimir Zelensky has been greeted with open arms by award shows, film festivals, and even the New York Stock Exchange. But when it comes to landing airtime on the most coveted telecast of all, the Oscars, the Ukrainian leader is being met with a cold shoulder. And this is the second year in a row. And WME was trying to get them to do it, and The Academy has made no comment on this.
Wow.
Chicken shit.
Wow.
I say chicken shit.
Yeah.
I say utter chicken shit.
There's probably Russian money, too much Russian money in Hollywood or something.
My gosh. But it's just utterly chicken shit.
Mm-hmm.
I say do it. He should absolutely be on. And honestly, there would be no price to pay. Like the Russian movie industry. I don't even like what we've already cut them out of everything. They've been cut out of all of social media, all of all the music. It's like a little inside baseball, ladies and gentlemen. Our last week's Score episode, we had copyright violations, and I thought they would pull our episodes, but YouTube, I guess, has made arrangements with all of the licensees that we can stream it. Except we can't stream it in Russia and Belarus. They have blocked it there because of their obvious conflict in Ukraine. And that's hilarious. And frankly, they deserve to lose everything. I feel bad for the people, but the country as a government deserves to be cut off from all quality content on the internet, and all quality music and all quality movies. So I think we should definitely have had him on. He's an actor too. He's an actor.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's how he started. That's right.
Oh my gosh, that show is
he would
great.
Be hilarious. He would be so funny too. Yeah.
I've done 2 seasons of his Ukrainian show that made him the servant of the people, and it's fantastic. He's a great actor, and he's the lead in it too. It's really fun. But yeah, so that's utter chicken shit. And this podcast, I think we need to be the loudest people on the internet saying that it is bullshit because of our importance.
It is chicken shit. Agreed. Yes.
And our movement. So next, the Hollywood Reporter. Is Hollywood too sensitive for the Razzies? The Golden Raspberry Awards have long undercut the industry's self-seriousness, but in our delicate times, the organization has been forced to rethink its mission. So I have no problem with like comical mean lists like this, updating things like when they took, how they made Bruce Willis all 5 nominees, and then they changed that or they apologized for that because they didn't realize how much he had going on.
Right.
And also like Shelley Duvall getting, they gave her a Razzie, but it was really kind of like, she was tortured by Stanley Kubrick, basically. So they kind of apologized for that retroactively. But overall, I do not have a problem with the Razzies being a little mean. Maybe it's just me. I'm like, I can kind of see both sides, but I also am like, it depends who they nominate. Like Tom Hanks is up for a Razzie. Like Tom Hanks can get a Razzie nomination.
Yeah. I guess it's all in good. I guess it just depends because there was controversy this year, right? Because they nominated a child or something like that, and people got upset because they thought that was unfair. Which may be a fair point.
Who was the child?
I don't know, honestly. I just kind of heard.
Well, here, let's take a look at here. I've got them here. Let's go through them here and just take, if you don't mind. Worst picture: Blonde, Disney's Pinocchio, Good Morning, The King's Daughter, and Morbius. I didn't see Blonde, but I think if you get an Oscar nomination, that's probably unfair that you're on the Razzie list. But let's just take that one aside. The rest of it sounds pretty fun to me. I think
it's really funny when that happens, actually. But it's happened a handful of times.
That live action Pinocchio was a travesty. It just looked like, why did you guys even bother to make this? You just made a shot for shot live action remake of a 70-year-old cartoon or whatever. I don't know. It was just not something that I thought they should have even done. Worst actor, we have Machine Gun Kelly for Good Morning, Pete Davidson for Marmaduke, Tom Hanks for Pinocchio, Jared Leto for Morbius, and Sylvester Stallone for Samaritan. All in good fun. All of that's fine.
They really like nominating Stallone. They really do.
Yeah, it's fine. Worst actress: Bryce Dallas Howard, Jurassic Park; Diane Keaton, Mac and Rita; Kaya Scodelario in The King's Daughter; and Alicia Silverstone in Requiem. The Requiem. I don't even know what that is. I never heard of any of these. Yeah, I don't have any problem with this. I mean, those Jurassic Park movies are just absolutely awful. So
yes, they are. Yes, they really are.
So that all seems good to me. See if anything in here looks particular.
Oh, okay. It's the girl. Oh, look. Okay. You only read 4 nominees there. They took away one of the nominees, Ryan Kiera Armstrong, for Firestarter. She was nominated in worst actress.
Yeah, they shouldn't nominate children. Probably that probably makes sense. If you haven't been, at least if you're not somewhat famous or then yeah. And also, it's just not that funny. Like to nominate that person. Like who knows what that kid did? I didn't see it, but
exactly right. Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah. Here's the worst directors: Judd Apatow, The Bubble; Colson Baker, who is Machine Gun Kelly; Good Morning; Andrew Dominic, Blonde; Daniel Espinosa, Morbius; Robert Zemeckis did Pinocchio. Oh no, Robert Zemeckis, why? Oh, why? How much have I just built some up on here? But still, fine. Deserved.
Zemeckis' best days are behind him, or a ways behind him, I'd say.
Yeah, so all of this seems in regular order aside from them. And they took that nomination away. That's probably the right thing to do. I think the rest of this, though, well, it's fine. Pete Davidson will recover from being nominated for a Razzie. So I don't think we need to throw the whole thing out. I also, if it's a good actor doing something really bad, then they should be ridiculed on the Razzies. I just think that's you know, if you take the paycheck and you make a stinky movie that was probably not in your best artistic interest and you get a Razzie, just smile and go. They're all millionaires. I mean, I feel the same way about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It's like, you're a millionaire. You're a mega millionaire. Like, just give the common folk one day to just have a little bit of a laugh with Chris Rock at your expense. Like, you got it pretty good. You're it's
the Oscars. It was a joke. Relax.
Yeah. So I'm pro. So our last one, the Hollywood Reporter, the U.S. lost 2,000 plus movie theater screens amid the pandemic, is what it looks like it shook out to. And the average movie ticket price hit a record of $10.53 in 2022. So less screens, more expensive tickets. I mean, this box office still seems pretty good. I miss the heydays of going to the crowded movie theaters. I don't know why people are not going as much, but you got to raise prices. The season pass, the passes are the way to go. The A-lists and the Cinemark Pass and all of that. That's just
pretty much, yeah.
That's the way to go anyway.
It's just too expensive.
It's very expensive, yeah. But God, that popcorn's so delicious. I thought we'd take a look at the snubs real quick as part of the news.
Sure.
This is bullshit. Okay.
Let's see who got snubbed, and see how we feel about it. Jordan Peele's Nope is completely absent. Number 1. Are your thoughts on that?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was good.
Horror is not my lane. It's not really, and I know actually that's a little more sci-fi. I understand it apparently, but I saw Get Out. I enjoyed Get Out, but I also wasn't super team Get Out. I guess maybe it was a little overhyped to me by the time I got to it or something. So I don't know. It didn't get nominated. Oh well.
It was a little forgettable, but it was good. But it was a little forgettable. I personally did not care for the ending. I was left a bit underwhelmed by the monster. I'll just call it the quote unquote monster in the horror movie, or yeah, I won't give anything away, but it is a little bit of a letdown. Number 2, Paul Dano doesn't make Best Actor. I think
This is an outrage. I demand an investigation.
I think I would have put him over Austin Butler, but he would have been supporting anyway.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying for The Fabelmans. I mean, yeah, he would have been supporting in my eyes. Gabriel LaBelle would have been a leading contender, and even then, I really wouldn't have nominated him.
I mean, I think I would have done Paul Dano over Judd Hirsch, even, because he just brought more to the movie. But that was a really wild Judd Hirsch performance, But I don't know. I just thought he should have done it. I think I would have still put him in Best Actor. I think you could have pushed him. I thought,
you know what? I thought Paul Dano was good. I thought he wasn't exactly perfect. Maybe a little miscast. I don't know.
Really? No, I thought it was so good. I don't know,
but he just has a little too much of a baby face for me overall. That I didn't buy him as the father.
He still does seem like a kid. Yeah, I a little bit, but I still thought he was very strong in it. And I don't know.
Sure.
I guess it makes sense he didn't get a Best Actor nom because he wasn't. I mean, he was a supporting role. So, but the supporting actor, to be fair, is a much tougher category. But I don't know. He would definitely have been the next man up. No Viola Davis on Best Actress. I didn't see The Woman King.
Me neither.
And Best.
She have? She has only one Oscar now, I believe. Right? Yeah, for Fences. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They say Keke Palmer for Nope was the snub. I really don't like the snub list that I've used because, frankly, all of these Black Panther misses out on adapted screenplay. I guess it is technically I'm out.
No, come on.
I'm out. This is an absolute.
This is an outrage. I demand an investigation.
Everything Everywhere not getting a VFX nom. That is crazy. And they did a lot of practical. This is why they did a lot of practical effects. And that's what they're going to say is it was a lot of practical effects. But the thing is, all of those practical effects still required some VFX work. Like there was tons of VFX work in there, and they only had a team of like 8 people. Like most of these, our studios had like hundreds and hundreds of people, and they literally had 8 people. I think that's crazy. Those 8 people didn't get nominated. So to be honest, this is not a year where I really feel there were a ton of snubs.
Is Tom Cruise on the list?
Tom Cruise was not on the list, but for actor, I don't know.
Yeah, he's on some of the lists.
There's a lot of there's just not as many notable snubs. I think people could be upset a little bit about Nope, maybe given there's 10, but not really. I mean, it wasn't Get Out. It wasn't even close to Get Out. So I don't know. I kind of think the Oscars did okay for a change, actually. You think you might be able to do some birthdays for us?
Your present.
Yo, I wanted a sports car for my birthday. Not no walking trash can.
That was obviously from Rocky.
Yeah.
The robot, which we discussed previously. I found the sound clip.
Bless you. All righty. So I got it's actually a handful of birthdays today. I'm going to start with Mr. Scott Frank. He's a renowned screenwriter and film director as well. He wrote Out of Sight and Get Shorty and co-wrote Logan, Oscar nominee. He's 63 years old today. Moving on to Paul Haggis, another writer-director. He's 70 today. He wrote Crash, Best Picture winner from 2005, wrote and directed that one. Thomas Middleditch, star of Silicon Valley on HBO, is 41 today. And Jasmine Guy from A Different World, she played Whitley. What was that character's last name? Whitney Gilbert on A Different World. She's 61 years old today. Danny Pudi from Community is 44. He played Abed on Community. Well, look at that. Chuck Norris is 83 years old today. Good old Chuck Norris. Ryan Kiara Armstrong, the actress we were just talking about, the ex-Razzie nominee, today is her 13th birthday. Sharon Stone of Basic Instinct and Casino fame is 65 today. Mr. John Hamm from Mad Men and this year's Best Picture nominee, Top Gun Maverick, is 52 today. And finally, last but not least, Olivia Wilde, actress and director of last year's Don't Worry Darlings and Booksmart from a few years ago, is 39 years old today.
I really liked Booksmart.
I've seen neither of her films.
It didn't get enough play for as funny as it was.
What, didn't it get like a screenplay nomination or something like that, maybe?
I don't remember, but you know, well, it was like
some indie spirit love, though, probably.
I don't remember, but I just remember thinking it's very close to like super bad caliber funny teen movie, you know, and but not as popular, not even close to the popularity that had. We're gonna move on to this, what we're really doing here, which is going through our Oscar ballots.
May I have the envelope, please?
I saw some things, but we have to make picks today, even if we didn't get to everything. And I'm going to see more this weekend. But there's just, you know, as we said in the beginning, there's no way to see them all. At the end of the day, sometimes you have to just make a call. So we're going to start here on Best Sound. So we have not made a pick. And just to recap the nominees: All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun.
I'm going to say right now, just in case, on the random chance there's anyone listening whom I might also see in a couple of days doing another Oscar ballot at a bar, I feel no obligation to make these votes the same, just to say. Because I'm going to try to see more things in the next 2 days, so I might have a different opinion when I'm voting on Sunday.
That's fair. I think you should have to message me and tell me you're changing your vote. That's what I think. And then, or you need to have someone at the party sign your Oscar ballot so that we can verify that you did in fact change your vote before, and then we'll consider it here. But I don't know.
That's a fair point. I'll photograph it.
Well, I wanted to see Top Gun Maverick, but and you know, that's probably what I'll watch tonight. But I didn't get to it. But
it is a big old slice of entertainment pie. Like, it is a very satisfying movie to watch.
Yeah. Well, we have to make a pick, so.
Okay. Oh shit.
May I have the envelope, please?
I recall a little movie called what, I can't remember what it's called, where what's his face from Tick Tick Boom is in a war movie, and he goes into he climbs that hill. He's a medic, and he
you mean Hacksaw Ridge?
Hacksaw Ridge. So I remember a little movie called Hacksaw Ridge, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm checking right now, I believe that won the Sound Oscars because there is just nothing more impressive. Let's see here. Sound mixing and editing that year. So I just know that war sound is extremely difficult, and I also just thought that movie was. I'm going to take War Over Planes, and I'm going to pick All Quiet on the Western Front for my best sound pick. The bullets, the gore, it was just an achievement in sound. It deserves to be there. I haven't seen the planes. You know what? I'm gonna send you a message if I change my mind and decide it's the planes. But
okay,
I'm gonna pick All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay. Because we're picking now.
Yes, you have to pick today. Yes.
Okay. All right. I am picking. I'm going the opposite. I'm going with planes over bombs. I'm going with Top Gun Maverick.
Just the whooshes and the zoomies.
Yes, because, and I also think, why isn't it?
I don't know. Like when I see a plane fly by and someone puts in a sound that goes, whoosh, like whatever. That's way harder than this. That's way easier than designing. Just thinking of it just like that. Just the amount of different war sounds versus just all you got to do is line the sound clip up with a plane flying by. I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, that's a fair point. But I'm like, where did this movie even come from? Like, did people? I never heard of All Quiet on the Western Front. At least
Netflix. It's a Netflix movie. That's why.
I know.
It's a Netflix original.
I had never heard of this movie until it got nominated for Best Picture. Like, who has actually watched this movie?
Because it's in a foreign language, but that goes with every foreign language film. That I just think. Let's see what the sound people say. Variety's predictions. They have it as Top Gun will win, but All Quiet could win. That's their two things. But they're saying the planes. They're saying planes.
So many, yeah. Almost everybody saw Top Gun Maverick. I don't know how many people actually watched All Quiet on the Western Front.
But
that's my pick. That's my pick.
Well, I think you got a pretty good shot on that one, but I'm gonna go stick with my guns here. Best original score, we both picked The Fabelmans. I think that one's pretty much a shoe-in. Best makeup and hairstyling, you've picked The Batman, and I've picked The Whale. Are you having any doubts about that?
Not at all.
So live action short, I didn't see any of them. Le Pupille is on Hulu right now. That's what I'm probably going to see. But let me read you the short film premises. So Irish Goodbye, it's an Irish film, obviously. Estranged brothers want to leave right away, but the brother with Down syndrome refuses until they have finished their late mother's bucket list. Oh. Okay. Caitlin Stark from Game of Thrones is in it. So Evilou, so this director of Evilou has won already in 2013, won a short film Oscar. It's a Danish graphic novel. It's the adaptation of a Danish graphic novel of the same name. A young girl who searches for her missing sister in Greenland while their father remains indifferent. The trailer suggests a mysteriousness to the Arctic landscape that may have contributed to Evilou's disappearance. Le Pupille. So, Alfonso Cuarón produced this Italian short film. And he had 3 films at Cannes, this filmmaker, Rohrwacher. It's a Catholic college for girls around Christmas time with a group of troublesome girls trying to steal a holiday cake, all juxtaposed against an ongoing war. So this is the war entry. The short played at Cannes, Telluride, Toronto International. 35 millimeter cinematography shot on Super 16. So that's pretty cool. And it's on Disney Plus and Hulu. Night Ride, Norwegian film about a woman whose tram takes a surprising turn when she actually becomes its operator. The joy ride gets even more complicated when passengers start to board and things take a turn for the worst. Ooh. Red Suitcase. Hailing from Luxembourg film's last film could not be more of a moment. A young woman who's anxious to take her suitcase through the airport. Why? She happens to be an Iranian and wears a veil. It's simple because the layered premise allows for tension to build quickly despite its brief runtime. So it's the shortest of the shorts. I'm going to go with La Pupille because of the producing background, because the 35 millimeter makes it cool, and because it's the war film. That's what I'm gonna do. So I should hit this first, but I'm doing it now. And the best live action short will be Le Pupille by Alice Rohrwacher and Alfonso Cuarón, which I know sets a bad precedent that a famous producer is in the live action short category, but that's what's happening. I'm putting it on the board. You want to guess based on premises?
Sure. Based on premises alone, because that's all I have, I'm going to go with Evalu.
Okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting ballot then, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You didn't look up the prediction on that, did you? Because that's kind of cheating.
I did not. No. Did they
We're
get a
only
prediction?
going on premises alone. If I see the short films this week, I'm going to message you and make my pick.
Okay.
Best costume design. Time to put up. I didn't see Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
I didn't see Babylon yet.
Okay.
May I have the envelope, please?
And the Oscar.
I think this is where Black Panther gets the Oscar.
Really?
No, I don't. I don't. Again.
May I have the envelope, please?
I mean, Babylon had so many costumes. It just had so many costumes. I think I'm going to go with Babylon. I'm tempted to go with Elvis, but I'm tempted to go with Elvis.
I'm going to go with Babylon too. I think you're right. I think it's just they're going to go, and they usually do just go with the most costumes in this category.
Matt Damon.
Well, that's no fun for everyone, but in that case,
I'm looking at this lady, Mary Zofries. I'm looking at her resume, and it's like she's done a lot of really good stuff, worked with a lot of really good people over the past couple decades, and like, you know, they might like circle the wagons and figure it's her time.
I think so. Elvis is going to win, is what Variety thinks, and
I mean,
it
sure,
says should win. It has Everything Everywhere All at Once. Does that change your opinion? I'm not voting for Elvis.
I'm not going to vote for Elvis. And like Everything Everywhere All at Once, you know, it has a big sweep energy, so that is entirely possible. I'm going to think that Babylon might get an award somewhere for music, you know, for costumes or somewhere. So maybe this one.
Okay, let's take a look here at these animated short premises. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. The Gentle Journey of the Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. It's the Barnes & Noble's Book of the Year winning children's volume. It's a boy looking for a home and animals representing the aspects of his personality, basically. So that sounds sad and sweet. The Flying Sailor. Sailor walks the dock at a busy port. Lovely day, jaunty music, then an explosion. And the sailor's hurled high and far into a journey of time, space, and memory. It's a near-death ballet, is what they call it. So that sounds fascinating. Ice Merchants, the first Portuguese film nominated for an Oscar. Wow. It's a wordless short about a father and son who live in a tiny house attached to the side of an impossibly high frozen cliff. And they make ice each day and skydive down to sell it. This seems similar to there's a short film a couple years ago where this guy who was in a land where the water kept rising, and he kept adding new blocks to his house. And then in the end, he scuba dived down, and you could see his whole life through his houses as they stacked up. So they love stuff like that. My Year of Dicks. This is the one I did see. Tracing the misadventures of a teen girl's clumsy quest to lose her virginity. My Year of Dicks is one of 2022's funniest films. And it's just basically about a 15-year-old trying to lose her virginity in 5 chapters. I saw this. And Oscars told me the world was fake, and I think I believe it. And Oscars told me it's a meta short. Sort of an office worker who's stuck in his job and he doesn't enjoy and isn't very good at. Time is wasting away, accentuated by the fact that we're seeing all this time flood past. Yeah, so it's stop motion.
Yeah.
So based on these premises, My Year of Dicks, I had a lot of where I had heard of My Year of Dicks, actually.
Yeah, I've heard of that one, and I like the premise. And
that says a lot.
May I have the envelope, please?
So my pick for best animated short film is going to be My Year of Dicks. And you agree with me, huh?
Indeed, I do. Oops.
So we are in a Matt Damon wash in this category. That one you can actually see on Hulu, and I highly recommend. But what also is cool about it is each of the 5 chapters is completely different animation. So
that's awesome.
That's really cool and very challenging. So best animated feature. I had seen 2 of them. And I also saw Marcel the Shell with Shoes On this week, which was so interesting and weird and very, very dry. But like the animation wasn't what it really, I mean, it's very hard for me, even though I enjoyed that movie better than Turning Red and Pinocchio, the animation was not as good, and so, because it's just kind of clumsy stop motion with shells, and I don't know, like how did something like Pinocchio, which was just crazy, but I just think, the voters loved it. It was just popular. Everyone who saw it laughed and loved it, and it was very, very smart. So I'm going to have to say
Have the envelope, please.
Best animated feature, I am going to go with Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Really? Even though I don't think the animation really was what made it great. But if it's nominated for an Oscar, they don't care. So.
I guess, I mean, I haven't seen any of them. And part of my brain tells me that people might be a little like, why 2 Pinocchios in 1 year, and just kind of ignore that. But on the other hand, I've heard it's really beautiful, and I know people really love Guillermo del Toro and his work. So I'm going to vote for Pinocchio.
Okay. Well, that's what we're doing then. And the animation is crazy good. It's like it will be so. It's like a kid who put weeks and weeks of work into his project versus one who did it the night before, and they're both getting the same grade. Sure. It just what it looks like. So visual effects, you've already made your pick. You're picking Avatar, which I am against wholeheartedly. But I'm going to go ahead and make my pick because now I have seen a lot of it.
Have the envelope, please.
You know what, too? You were saying how, like, you were shocked at the snub for Everything Everywhere All at Once in this category. I kind of we're looking at the fact that the Batman is nominated here. I kind of have to, like, I don't understand why that's nominated for visual effects. Exactly. I don't.
Yeah, because it's, very dark.
It's expensive. And there are lots. I mean, it had lots of people working on it, I guess.
It kept everyone employed over the end of COVID.
Yeah, but there was nothing there was nothing visual in terms of VFX. That movie was not that, at least nothing too flashy. And I guess maybe that was the point of it. But
I mean, it's unfortunate because really Avatar is going to win, but I'm not picking it. I'm not picking it just to spite you.
May I have the envelope, please?
This is where I really wish I had seen Top Gun Maverick, because I'm guessing there's cool effects in there, isn't there?
yes, but again, it is just kind of like planes, just like cool flying effects.
I'm gonna just pick All Quiet on the Western Front, and I'm just gonna bank. I'm gonna put all my eggs in the basket on it being a surprise this year, a surprise upset where people are like, "Holy cow, we watched this at the last minute and it blew us away." That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not voting
It's also
for
a foreign film, though. It's also a foreign movie.
Damn it! I don't care. I'm picking it anyway. I'm picking that one with utmost bias that I don't know for sure. So production design, I picked Babylon. I'm gonna stand by that. Do you have a choice? You have to make a choice now for production design. So here you go.
I have the envelope, please.
Okay, you know what? On the spot, I am gonna also go Babylon here.
Yay!
Matt Damon.
Well, if it's going to win production design, it should also win costume design. If we're doing those all work hand in hand.
I don't want to vote for Avatar. I don't think it's going to be All Quiet. I don't want to vote for Elvis. Fableman's nice nomination. Not going to win.
I'm gonna so next we have best foreign film. We need to make a choice on this, or international feature. I already know.
Yeah.
May
I have the envelope, please?
I'm going All Quiet. It was just such an epic war film. Also, it was the German perspective. You are as well.
Yes.
Well, in that case,
Matt Damon.
we are in agreement. It is a wash. We're taking it. It was just a very cool war film, and from the German perspective too, which made it really interesting. Best film editing. We've already picked Everything Everywhere All at Once, and we're good on that. Documentary short. I saw 2 of them, and it's extremely difficult. It's just extremely difficult. Okay, you know.
May I have the envelope, please?
You know, it was very simple, but it was emotional and it was sweet. And the fact that it was on Netflix, a lot of people saw it. I'm going to go with The Elephant Whisperers. I think people are burnt out on the politics, and I just don't know if the Martha Mitchell effect is as great of a watch as seeing the 2 people save the first baby elephant that has been abandoned by its mother. You know, that is where we're at. I didn't see the other 3. I never see all the documentary shorts. It truly is a crapshoot. So what do you think? Let's see what the buzz says. Variety says Stranger at the Gate should win, but they don't know if it will.
Jeez. How do you measure a year looks very interesting, but
what is the premise?
It's about a filmmaker basically films his daughter once every year on her birthday throughout her entire life as she grows from being a toddler to being a young woman, asking the same questions and how she evolves.
Kind of a YouTube
years.
trend, very little YouTube-y. It's been there, done that.
Yeah, very Boyhood. Yeah, Elephant Whisperer sounds, the premise and it just sounds actually very, very interesting. And let's vote for that one. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're a wash here. Elephant Whisperer is going to do it then. I feel good about that pick. It's really good documentary. And moving on to best documentary, I've already made my pick. You haven't seen any of them, but yet you now have to make a pick based on the premises.
May I have the envelope, please?
Let's go with Navalny.
Matt Damon. You're not going to be disappointed. He's going to win. That's going to win. That was just an awesome movie. So there's no way that doesn't win. So we're getting up there. Now we're getting into the big ends here. So document or best cinematography, we both have to make a pick. So there we go.
May I have the envelope, please?
So I am just going to go all in. I think we're going to be all surprised, and I think it's going to be an all quiet on the Western Front uprising here, and it's going to be the Germans are going to take over, and I'm going to give it to All Quiet on the Western Front. Bardo is the only one I didn't get to, but I made my choice, and I stand by it.
Let's Matt Damon it.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Let's see who's just the favorite. Variety up there with us, but they're saying Elvis is a could win. And they're saying Empire of Light is a should win. Wow. I mean, of course.
Yeah, it's Roger Deakins, and it's a movie about film projectors who love the movies. So yes,
it had the film projector shot in the dark movie theater, and it maybe is the best version of that shot I've ever seen. With just the beam of light through the blackness and the movie screen on people's faces. Yes. So yes, that's the best that's ever been done, probably. But I still think we're going to do it. And, the fact that it's going to win cinematography makes me feel very good about its chances in sound as well. I just think the texts are going to be really big here. Original screenplay. Oh, this one's going to be a bitch.
May I have the envelope, please?
I have only not seen one of these.
I just saw Triangle of Sadness.
Sure.
And it was
I'm watching that on Sunday. I'm watching that on Sunday, actually. So.
It's not going to win because it's way, way too long. And also it's way, way, way too weird. But my God, it is just genius. He is a genius. I mean, it defies so much writing convention and it's just easing out. I think you're going to love it. I believe you're going to love it. I loved it. But not going to win. God, really, this is the hardest category.
I think I know who I'm going to vote for, though.
I'm going to go with the Banshees of Inisherin because it is this is a lot of vote splitting potential. But what made Banshees of Inisherin so good was it was the best Martin McDonagh screenplay he's ever written. And as much I think it's it. And I don't think Everything Everywhere All at Once sweeps every award.
I'm going to go with The Fabelmans, actually.
Yes, which would be well deserved. Tony Kushner, one of our best playwrights of all time, and Steven Spielberg, one of our best filmmakers of all time, writing a personal movie,
writing from the heart, writing a really beautiful, very polished, very thoughtful screenplay too. I thought that I think will probably made people feel things and move them in a way that, at least moved me in a way that Everything Everywhere All at Once, as impressed as I am with that movie, I do think it's a better movie than The Fabelmans. But again, like you say, it's more due to the direction than the writing. I think.
Tough call.
It was a good
Variety's calling Everything Everywhere All at Once. But,
I mean, in terms of in terms of the literal definition of it being an original screenplay, sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to win. I'll proudly put that one on the board. I do not think it's going to win. I think I think either you or me have a better shot than that winning.
Because when I saw Banshees, I did think my first impression was that McDonough actually had it nailed, that he was going to win original screenplay, and he still might.
Yeah, I think that this one has a lot of potential for upset. I just don't know if Everything Everywhere All at Once. When they directed it and wrote it, and I just look at what made it superb. The directing is what made it superb. But the screenplay is still great. It still deserves to be here. But I just don't know. It just wasn't so flawless as maybe the other ones were. All right, well, adapted. I already made my pick. You're still on the board. You got to do it here for adapted screenplay. And remember, we're not voting for Top Gun or Glass Onion in protest because we do not believe those should be considered adapted. I picked Women Talking, even though it's not cinematic. So Living and All Quiet are your last two options here.
No, I too am going to choose Women Talking. Yes.
Oh my gosh, the women! Hooray for women! Well, that's going to be great. Let's see who Variety picked here. Sounds like they're with us, and they think All Quiet on the Western Front could win. They said Glass Onion should win. This is why you can't just listen to Variety predictions. Okay, well, so we've already settled. We're all both in on Jamie Lee Curtis for Best Supporting Actress. We're both in Kiwi Kwan's corner for Best Supporting Actor. We both think Michelle Yeoh is going to win Best Lead Actress. So now we're into Best Lead Actor. I think this is pretty much settled. I wanted to see Living, but the fact that it was Oscar week and I could not find Living screening pretty much anywhere tells me all I need to know. That movie does not have the buzz to get him into a Best Actor win, whereas Brendan Fraser is having the Brendanissance right now, and I'm just going with The Whale. I think that one is about set and settled.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet, but I'll go ahead and agree with you just because he has the momentum. And he has the larger narrative is on his side, and yeah.
We are in agreement on all of the actor categories, so we are in straight agreement. So Best Director, here's where we really get into it. And you were talking about them winning the Daniels winning the DGA award, and that I read that there has only been 8 times where the director of the winner who won the DGA award hasn't won the Best Director thing as well for Oscars. So you're very right about that being a tell.
May I have the envelope, please?
And as much as I want Steven Spielberg to surprise us all and win for this wonderful thing, I just don't see it going to anyone else but the Daniels. They were also on TV all week this week, doing the work, getting out there, pulling the votes. I think they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think they are gonna. I think they are gonna goose egg Spielberg. I'm picking a Spielberg goose egg, which I'm not pleased about.
No,
but yeah.
I mean, honestly, do you think that Spielberg should win?
I think when a director like Steven Spielberg does something so personal and does it so well, and in many ways stretched himself as a director in this one. I think that is an Oscar worthy thing. However, look at the actor awards. Like, look at, I just think what they did with what they had and where they got and how responsible they are for everything that is a success in that movie. I just think they ran into a Daniels buzzsaw over, and that's just how it's going to be. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to happen for him. I wouldn't be sad if it did, but it's not going to.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, it's going to be the Daniels, I believe, which is another reason I'm leaning into Spielberg for the screenplay category, because I think the vote is going to split. Daniels for direction, screenplay, or at least that's how I would vote. That's how I would like it to play out.
But we're in agreement. We're both going with Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Damon.
Well, there's a good chance it could win everything, but that just very rarely happens. And that usually happens when it's obvious that it is going to happen. And I just don't think this year is as obvious. There's lots of very, very good nominees in every category. Lots of very deserving winners. And so our last Best Picture, we are both already washed on that one. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that's like about the safest pick. So it looks like we've closed it out. There is one thing I want to do. This is extremely important.
May I have the envelope, please?
Out your fucking mouth!
I am going to change my pick. And let me just tell you, I'm going to change my pick on original song because Lady Gaga is not going to perform at the Oscars. And that sends a signal to me. That someone went, nudge, nudge. You're probably not going to win. You probably don't need to drop everything you're doing. She's filming a movie right now and come and rehearse for this and get it up there. And while I could vote for Rihanna, or I could vote for David Byrne, I'm going to not to.
I thought you would.
I'm going to not to, because I just didn't think Black Panther was it enough. And I just think that Everything Everywhere All at Once is a little too slow and just not. I just don't know if they're going to get it. It just wasn't my favorite song. Whereas Not To, I listened to it again. It slaps. I didn't see the movie, but apparently it was a big function in the movie too, a big part of the movie. And then.
So we're only getting David, This Is Alive, Not To, and Lift Me Up at the ceremony, I guess.
Yeah, and I think and they'll probably do applause as well.
Oh, okay, sure.
But we're not going to get Hold My Hand from Top Gun. And I think she's going to pull votes away from that would have otherwise gone to Rihanna. And I think that's what's going to make room for Not To. This is a very controversial pick. It was a controversial pick correction and a controversial pick, but
sure.
I just think it's going to happen. I'm very tempted to go, and it was between that and Everything Everywhere for me.
Yeah.
After she dropped out, so
it's interesting. Okay, I mean that's fair, but I do still think that Rihanna and her Super Bowl performance about a month ago. I mean, she's still. Again, it was a month ago, but
yeah, they usually go with pop stars. I'm not pleased to have to change my pick or do this, but I, right before I left that company I was at, we just started opening a studio in India also. And India is where the party is at. That government is trying to get their movie industry to go up another notch. It's already way up a notch, but they're trying to take things further. And I just think there's going to be a lot of people that voted for that. So, well, you're going to an Oscar party? You have friends to watch Oscars with?
Yeah. We usually, it's my Cheers spot, my bar. And annually, like almost every year since I've lived here in Chicago, except for I guess 2021, obviously. But yeah, every other year, aside from that, we gather and put the big screen down and put it on all the TVs and watch the Oscars there.
Oh, that's fun. I don't think that's going to exist here in Fort Worth, but maybe. I think I'm going to watch in my media room with my wife, and we're going to eat sushi, and we're going to recline in our recliner chairs, and we're just going to sit back. Our goals next year, for next year's prediction podcast, we should live stream the Oscars on a Zoom and watch together, and we'll be the party. I'm just as fun. Yeah. I'm just as fun as any party that you could go to. And also then when we could look at each other's faces when we see who's right and wrong and how, but that's okay. We're going to have a good recap.
And we could even have like guests and stuff too.
We could have guests, I'm going to experiment with guests. If we continue another iteration of this, we should experiment with guests, but who's going to be a guest? It's a question of who do we want and what do we, that's a whole nother thing.
Sure.
Well, I'm going to wrap this up. This was a very fun experience. We'll have a good time at the recap. I'll try to pull some speech clips if they won't block us on YouTube, except I think YouTube is hosting it. So we can probably, use all of the Oscar stuff on YouTube since we are a YouTube product. And so we think you're ready for listen. We hope you enjoy your Oscars, and we hope all your Oscar ballot pools go well. And we'll see you at the recap.
See you at the Oscars. Have a good weekend.
Ballyhooey Hollywood. We're in the office for a young mechanic, can be a panic.
Never done this before, but seeing as it's special circumstances and all, he says I can knock $100 off that true coat.
100. You lied to me, Mr. Lundgaard. You're a bald-faced liar.
Okay, please.
A fucking liar.